Rinpoche, could you please say something in particular about jealousy? Thanks. You can make a beautiful story about jealousy to others. You can make horrible stories based on the jealousy, but you cannot overcome the jealousy itself. So in order to overcome the jealousy, you need to overcome the illusion of your own mind. It's a little bit like when you watch too much television. Your mind is polluted. In order to minimize the pollution of all the different memories that you are bringing, in order to minimize all the pollution in our mind, then you need to practice, you need to visualize, you need to have a sense of simplicity in terms of mindset, in terms of practice. So therefore, in order to overcome jealousy, you have to overcome the illusion. In order to overcome the illusion, you need to overcome your ego. So that being said, because I said many times you need to overcome your ego and jealousy, ignorance, and so on and so forth. People tend to have this idea that where they believe in themselves as a practitioner, they say, I am a Buddhist practitioner, I need to destroy my anger, I need to destroy my jealousy, or I should not have any jealousy, or I should not have any desire, or I should not have any anger to other people, I should not have many attachment as well. And then we have this vast projections of ourselves, what we should be and should not be. But if you never practice, shamatha, vipassana, deity practice, avalokiteshvara practice, deity practice doesn't have to be like a chakra sambhara. It can be simple as a deity, as a grintara, avalokiteshvara. So when you develop this, the visualization practice, and then along with the progress with your own practice, then the jealousy will dissolve by itself, because the impact of the illusion is no longer there. Even it is there, your mind is concentrating towards Avalokiteshvara, Grintara, in the syllable, in the sixth syllable, and then the radiance of transmission benefiting all the sentient beings, liberating all the sentient beings, offering to all the Buddha and Bodhisattva, making a refuge, making a dedication, making a commitment about the Bodhicitta vows, So as you continue to bring that habit, as you continue to practice, all this illusion of the jealousy, the impact to your mind, the disturbance to your mind will dissolve over time. But if you keep on complaining about, I have jealousy, I need to get rid of my jealousy, I don't want my jealousy, even you repeat this one in the thousands of years, you cannot overcome. So repeating that I have jealousy, I need to get rid of my jealousy, you cannot overcome. Because the very root of jealousy is illusion. When I say illusion, it doesn't mean a magical or performance of magic in the circus. When I say illusion, the meaning of the very illusion, that what I'm trying to explain is believing something that is there when in reality it is not there, therefore you call it illusion. Denial of understanding to the meaning of impermanence. So long as you hold on to that, you can never overcome a jealousy, because the very reality, the very source, the very source of jealousy is illusion. The very source of illusion is your ego, your pride, and your ignorance, inseparably with the illusion combined together. Illusion, ego, and then ignorance, these three are always inseparably together. So whatever we are projecting, such as, I am jealous, I don't want to be jealous, I don't want to be jealous, I don't like to have a jealousy, I don't like to have a hatred, all this is projection. And how do I say, it's It's somehow, you can call it a manifestation, or you can say tuba, it's an influence coming from the state of the ignorance, the state of the, illusion, and the state of the ego. These are the three things. And then some of you might be thinking, what is the state of the ignorance? Many people, when we talk about ignorance, we tend to have this idea that if we are Buddhist practitioners, religious practitioners, we say, oh, you should not be ignorant like a pig. We try to implement the idea of an ignorant, and we try to bring that idea and project that idea of ignorant to an animal. Oh, you don't be like a pig, ignorant. Or we say, don't be ignorant like some type of animal. And then we, if someone is not knowledgeable, and then we say, that person is not intelligent. You are ignorant. Someone doesn't know how to do a prostration. We say, you don't know how to do a prostration when you come to the temple. You are ignorant. That is our social ignorant projection. That is not the ignorant that I'm talking about. Okay, so make a distinction. The things that you tell to your children that you are not studying, therefore you are being stupid, you're being lazy, you're being ignorant, that is a social level of understanding of ignorant. The real reality of the ignorant is a state of unknown. Anything in the state of the mind that you are separated from the nature of the mind or unable to recognize the nature of the mind is a state of the ignorant. So a state of the ignorant has nothing to do with the reality of the state of ignorance has nothing to do with what social status that you may have. So that you need to have a clear understanding. So the quick summary of that answer is to overcome jealousy, you need to overcome the illusion. In order to overcome the illusion, you need to understand the very reality of the ignorance. The very reality of the ignorance that we are talking about is, a state of mind that is constantly distracted, a state of mind that is constantly distracted or polluted or surrounded by many emotions, by many projections, that is called ignorant. Okay? What position we hold in our society doesn't define you as an ignorant. That is just our normal social status. What we are talking about in the Buddhist perspective, when we call, not overcoming the ignorance, doesn't mean that you have to study everything. It doesn't mean you have to study the rocket science. It doesn't mean you have to be the next Tesla, a boss. It doesn't mean that. In the Buddhist, when we say, overcoming the ignorance means seeing the projections and the projections of thoughts, seeing all the projection of thoughts as it is with the self-awareness. On the top of that, recognizing the nature of the mind and learning and discovering to be present, not trying to be present, but simply being a present. It is called overcoming the true ignorant. Okay? The social idea of ignorant is not what we are talking about. So make a clear distinction. Milarepa became a great practitioner, an enlightened being. But he didn't went to the Harvard University. He didn't have a certificate, saying, this is Dr. Milarepa. There was no such as a Dr. Milarepa. There was a practitioner, an enlightened being who have endured betrayal, who have endured the betrayal of the family and the hardship of being a student, and then showing the commitment to practice the Dharma for the rest of his life. And that is a commitment, and that is a direction that we have to go. Like an example, the Shangpa masters. Trungpa Nanjo, he was the founder of the Shangpa lineage. In his 60s, he went from Tibet through Nepal and to India to Bodh Gaya many times. And whatever he had, a small portion of gold from his relatives, he always brings to India and offer to the different Mahasiddhas, sometime the abbot, head of the monastery, to receive teachings and empowerment. sometime meeting the great Mahasiddhas such as Niguma and Sukhasiddhi, and that is called a commitment and dedication. And then finally having a full realization in the single lifetime, So therefore, overcoming the ignorant does not mean you have to be the richest or the brightest one. Overcoming the ignorant from the Buddhist point of view means seeing all the projection of thoughts as it is, seeing all the emotions as it is, rather than being influenced or distracted, having a sense of awareness. At the same time, with a sense of calmness, with a sense of clarity, recognizing the true meaning of presence, true meaning of present, without trying to be present. You understand? So that is, that is how you overcome, so-called a jealousy. Otherwise, complaining about the jealousy, doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't help. Many people, they have a great knowledge, but lack of commitment when it comes to practice. And one is lack of commitment. That's number one. Number two is a denial to the reality of the impermanence. That's number two. So you can choose these two paths. Either way, if you overcome it, if you overcome along with it, and then you can definitely have some glimpse of realization. So that's that.